It is Bengals hate week here at the Cleveland Browns Report, and we did a like battle with our Bengals breakdown channel at Chat Sports, and it was an absolute bloodbath. Beat them 715 to 101 in likes. Now, the second phase of this battle is going to be subscribers, and somehow the Bengals channel kind of showed out in the first few days of the week here. They got a 1 sub lead on us, but if I know anything about the Dawg Pound, it is we are not about to lose another Battle of Ohio against the Bengals. The Browns have been dominating it under Kevin Stefanski. Let's keep that rolling right now by clicking the subscribe button. It is finally here. It is Browns-Bengals week. We are done talking about preseason football and backups making their roster and will Austin Watkins sneak on only to not play a single snap? No, we've got hardcore hitting football to talk about on today's show. And that leads us right into our first segment, which is, will Joe Burrow be out week 1? We are filming today's show during our live show, which airs every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern. And as of right now, I'm going to give this one Bernie head. I don't think it's a fake news, but I'm not going to, elevate it any more than just one Bernie head when it comes to Joe Burrow missing the first game of the 2023 NFL season. So head coach Zac Taylor spoke to the media on Monday, and he would not commit to Burrow playing Sunday like he did for some other players, which was interesting because some coaches take an approach of, we're not going to show our hand, we're not going to say one way or another if anyone's playing. That's not what Zac Taylor did. He confirmed that Chidobe Awuzie, the cornerback, is playing week 1. Didn't do that for Joe Burrow, which I found to be rather interesting. Now, Burrow suffered a calf strain on the second day of training camp, July 27th. We are 5-6 weeks past that point right now, so there was a lot of optimism for how early he suffered the injury in camp. He would be ready to go week 1, but calf strains are not, a casual injury you want to play with. If he's not ready to roll, the Bengals are not about to mortgage or forfeit the entire year for just one game because, well, they have bounced back from losing week 1 before to go to the AFC Championship game. Go look at last year, for example. Now, here's what Zac Taylor said exactly on Joe Burrow. I thought today was a really good day for him. It was encouraging to see, so we'll just take it one day at a time. So there's definitely a lot of optimism right now in Cincinnati that Joe Burrow will ultimately be ready to go, but Zac Taylor's not quite there yet to, put it in ink that he will play. Now, go back to last season for a moment. I want to show you guys some stats here. Joe Burrow's stats for the first 2 weeks of the season. And if you remember, those first 2 weeks were both losses to the Pittsburgh Steelers and to the Dallas Cowboys without Dak Prescott. Now, Burrow was not bad in these games. He threw for 388 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks, though. But the second game, 200 yards almost and a score and no interceptions. What I want to drive home right now is that Burrow missed all of training camp and preseason last year with an appendectomy surgery. After missing all of training camp and preseason this year, could we see a similar slow start for Burrow and the Bengals? And could the Browns be beneficiaries as this since they play Cincinnati in week 1? I'm going to say Burrow's going to play, and I want Burrow to play. I want Cincinnati at full strength. I'm not that guy. But the Bengals, they should be cautious about this. I don't think Cincinnati should be jumping into bed that Joe Burrow is going to be 110% and he's going to look like Cool Joe that has led Cincinnati nearly to a Super Bowl victory. We saw last year that missing the entire season of preseason and training camp, Joe Burrow was a little bit human in those first few weeks. And when you look at his overall stats in his career against the Browns, he has struggled. He is 1-4 all time. 1,400 yards, that's a good number through 5 games right there. That comes out to maybe a little under 300 yards a game. 10 touchdowns, but 5 interceptions. Denzel Ward can attest to that as well. But Joe Burrow against the Browns has not played his A game just yet. And with him coming off an injury that made him miss the entire training camp and preseason, there's a good chance he will not be on his A game week 1 against Cleveland either. But even Burrow's B game is still a really good game. Now, who you got in this first game? Browns or Bengals? Type CLE for Cleveland, CIN for Cincinnati. Let me know who you got in this showdown in Cleveland. Moving on to the second story on today's show. Jim Harbaugh, is he coming to the Browns? This was on ESPN Cleveland today. It was on ESPN's mothership in Bristol. We're going to actually break the rules a little bit, Trace, for this one. I don't care. I do not care if Jim Harbaugh is going to come to the Browns if 2023 does not go well. I'm not thinking about who's going to replace Kevin Stefanski if this season is a colossal failure of some sort. I mean, this is something that we can have a conversation in January or February, but not right now. Not on the eve of what is the most talented Cleveland Browns roster ever put together, about to kick off the season. Now, here's what ESPN's Harry Douglas had to say on this to get you guys up to speed. His heart is in the National Football League, and I will watch this situation. You brought up the Cleveland Browns. That's a situation I will watch. When you watch a Jim Harbaugh football team, they are going to be physical. They are going to have offensive linemen. They are going to have a D-line. They're going to be tough. They're going to have they're going to have running backs, and they're going to have tight ends. They're going to have an athletic quarterback. That's what he has in J.J. McCarthy. That's what he had in Colin Kaepernick and Alex Smith when he was with the San Francisco 49ers, when he won Coach of the Year in his rookie season. He's had a ton of success in the National Football League. So if Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns don't get it together this year, we already know that ownership and Jimmy Haslam will do anything to get who they want. Don't be surprised. Now, if you thought that was the end of the road for Harbaugh coming to the Browns in August, September now, oh no, there's more. ESPN Cleveland's very own Tony Rizzo said, if you connect the dots, which I don't want to because I want Coach Stefanski to succeed, I'm already hearing rumblings about him coming to the Browns. There are already people putting together connecting dots. Can we not tear down this team before it even gets off the ground? Before we even kick off the season? This is the most Cleveland Browns fan base thing I've ever seen before. The Browns, for once, have a really good team. And we're already talking about firing the coach and replacing him with Jim Harbaugh? Listen, there is a time and place for this conversation. And if the Browns fall flat on their face, no doubt about it, Stefanski's on the hot seat if this team does not win games and go to the postseason. But this is not the time for this conversation. Not in September. Not right now, right? To quote my favorite movie, Step Brothers, remember when Dr. Dale Doback was being asked if Brendan and Dale can make bunk beds in their rooms? And he goes, I guess I'm not making myself perfectly clear. I don't give a fuck. That's how I feel right now about Harbaugh replacing Stefanski in September, before the season even kicks off. No, I'm a little mad at myself for even giving this story this much airtime, but I had to get my 2 cents out. So what's your confidence level in Kevin Stefanski right now? Scale it 1 to 10. 10 being he's going to win a Super Bowl, 1 being it's going to be a colossal failure. I put myself at a 7.1. Let me know what you put your confidence level at for Stefanski down below. Now, while you're typing that number in the comment section, let me tell you really quickly about the sponsor for today, our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Go to chatsports.com/bet, promo code Browns125. When you put all that information in, they give you a 125% deposit bonus. Now, if you are looking to put some money down on week 1 between the Bengals and the Browns, Cincinnati's 3-point favorites. It's kind of interesting. Joe Burrow is 1-4 against the Browns all time. He is coming off a calf strain and missed all the preseason and training camp. He went 0-2 last year when he missed all of training camp and preseason. But I'm supposed to take the Bengals -3? No. Give me the Browns +3. Scratch that. Give me the Browns money line, baby. Moving on to the third and final segment on today's show. Could the Browns trade for Mike Evans? I'm going to give it 1 Bernie head. I had some people ask me on Twitter about this. It was in the comments section of a video, so I figured we'd kind of bring it up at the end of the show today. Mike Evans, if you have been living under a rock lately, has somewhat requested a trade. Not full-fledged, but there is a disagreement right now on Evans and the Bucs and his future in Tampa Bay. The two sides have yet to come into an agreement on a contract extension. Evans, who is 30 years old, is entering the last year of his contract, and Saturday is the reported deadline he gave Tampa Bay to reach an agreement on an extension, and once the season kicks off, there will be no more contract talks. Now, I am sure Mike Evans wants to be a lifelong Buck, but he also understands this is a business, and he's 30 years old, and he's probably got one more lucrative free agent contract in him before ultimately his paydays stop coming in. The Browns are always interested in getting better. And with Mike Evans, is this team better with Mike Evans on their team or not on their team? I would say on their team. Would you all agree that if you could just pick up Mike Evans and drop him in Cleveland and there's no cost for a trade or contract or anything like that, this team is better with him? Now, of course, we don't live in Candyland. There is a cost to moving Mike Evans from Tampa to Cleveland, but the Browns are always interested in at least seeing what that cost is. Now, Evans, over the last 4 years and his entire NFL career, he's always been a 1,000-yard receiver. So Mike Evans with this wide receiver room would be ridiculous. I mean, look at Cleveland's wide receiver room right now. If you added Evans to this and made him opposite Amari Cooper and put Elijah Moore in the slot, and you had the luxury of Donovan Peoples-Jones coming off your bench, and then Marquise Goodwin to come on to stretch the field, and we don't even get to the next level of Cedric Tillman, who's looked like a pro as a rookie, yeah, this would be the best wide receiver room in the NFL, no questions asked in my eyes. So Mike Evans is probably a bit of a pipe dream right now, but when it comes to the Browns, hand up, who saw the Zadarius Smith trade coming? I didn't. Who saw the Deshaun Watson trade coming? I didn't until like the last moment. Same goes for Amari Cooper. Andrew Berry, he loves a good trade. Do not be surprised if he at least picks up the phone, calls Tampa, and they say, we're looking for a third, and he hangs up. He's like, I'm not doing that. But maybe they come back and say, you know what? We're nowhere near an agreement with Evans. We'll do it for like a 6. He's like, a 6? That's it? All right, you got yourselves a deal right now. To wrap up the show, let's pick a card. We've got producer Trace today, and then one of the newer folks here at Chat Sports, Allie Barefoot. Allie, which card do you want to pick? Ace of Spades, Allie says. Trace?
I'm going to go 9 of diamonds.
9 of diamonds. So I got Ace of Spades, 9 of diamonds. I'm going to go with, give me the Jack of Clubs. Jack of Clubs. This all ends, by the way, before Sunday, week 1. Okay. Queen of Clubs.
Dang.
I have been so close lately. Damn. All right, Queen of Clubs. That's going to do it for us on this edition of the Cleveland Browns Report. If you enjoyed today's show, like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will see you all later.